Salutations! Surgeon4Rinoa here with Soapboxing4Rinoa Episode 2. The Wrestlemania 29 pre-show edition. Alright, now stop me if you heard this one. If not, listen carefully. And think about how things have changed and how things have stayed the same since this work shoot from CM Punk that I'm paraphrasing that was done back in June 27th, 2011. John Cena, while you lay there, hopefully as uncomfortable as you possibly can be, I want you to listen to me. I want you to digest this because before I leave in 3 weeks with your WWE Championship, I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest. I don't hate you, John. I don't even dislike you. I do like you. I like you a hell of a lot more than I like most people in the back. I hate this idea that you're the best. Because you're not. I'm the best. I'm the best in the world. There's one thing you're better at than I am. And that's kissing Vince McMahon's ass. You're as good as kissing Vince's ass as Hulk Hogan was. I don't know if you're as good as Dwayne, though. He's a pretty good ass kisser. Always was and still is. Oops, I'm breaking the fourth wall. I am the best wrestler in the world. I've been the best ever since day one when I walked into this company, and I've been vilified and hated since that day because Paul Heyman saw something in me that nobody else wanted to admit. That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. You know who else was a Paul Heyman guy? Brock Lesnar. And he split, just like I'm splitting. But the biggest difference between me and Brock is I'm going to leave with the WWE Championship. I've grabbed so many of Vincent K. McMahon's imaginary brass rings that it's finally dawned on me that they're just that. They're completely imaginary. The only thing that's real is me, and the fact that day in and day out for almost 6 years, I have proved to everybody in the world that I am the best on this microphone, in that ring, even in commentary. Nobody can touch me. And yet, no matter how many times I prove it, I'm not on your lovely little collector cups. I'm not on the cover of the program. I'm barely promoted. I don't get to be in movies. I'm certainly not on any crappy show on the USA Network. I'm not on the poster of Wrestlemania. I'm not on the signature that's produced at the start of the show. I'm not on Conan O'Brien. I'm not on Jimmy Fallon. But the fact of the matter is I should be. And trust me, this isn't sour grapes. But the fact that Dwayne is in the main event at WrestleMania next year and I'm not makes me sick. Oh, and hey, let me get something straight. Those of you who are cheering me right now, you are as just a big a part of me leaving as anything else. Because you're the ones that are sipping out of those collector cups right now. You're the one that buy those programs that my face isn't on the cover of. And then at 5 in the morning at the airport, you try to shove it in my face so you can get an autograph and try to sell it on eBay because you're too lazy to go get a real job. I'm leaving with the WWE Championship on July the 17th. And hell, who knows? Maybe I'll go defend it in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Maybe I'll go back to Ring of Honor. Hey, Colt Cabana, how you doing? The reason I'm leaving is you people, because after I'm gone, you're still gonna pour money into this company. I'm just a spoke on the wheel. The wheel's gonna keep turning, and I understand that. But Vince McMahon's gonna make money despite himself. He's a millionaire who should be a billionaire. You know why he's not a billionaire? It's because he surrounds himself with glad-handing, nonsensical, douchebag yes-men like John Laurinaitis, who's gonna tell him everything that he wants to hear. And I'd like to think that maybe this company would be better after Vince McMahon's dead, but the fact is, it's gonna get taken over by his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law and the rest of his stupid family. Again, just paraphrasing. But with that said, I'm going to move on right now to the main course of this. My WrestleMania 29 pre-show talk and predictions for... sorry, man, that took a lot out of me. But anyway, WrestleMania 29 pre-show talk and my predictions for what I believe will take place. Once again, going through this, listen, see what changed, what stayed the same since the promo I just paraphrased that was aired on Raw just almost like 2 years ago. I'm going to try and go through this history as best I can from what I can remember from that time. And I think I'm just going to start with our pre-show. For the Intercontinental Championship, Wade Barrett versus The Miz. Who did The Miz piss off to go in that time of 2 years, coming in as the WWE Champion and actually leaving still the WWE Champion, beating John Cena of all people, like 1, 2, 3 pinfall over Cena. I know The Rock did most of the work. He's responsible for most of that, but he still beat the guy. A 3 count. I mean, you'd think it would take, like, the way they build him, they take like an act of God in most cases, the way they book him. Like, you could force-fed that guy a thermonuclear device and he'd still kick the fuck out in 2.9. Meanwhile, Wade Barrett's your Intercontinental Champion, what Triple H, the COO, described one time, the workhorse title. Also the only guy in a WWE film that actually made money, and he's not even on the damn card. I get the idea of enticing people to watch the pre-show, but you could have done that with one of the matches with... I'll get to that later. I'll get to that match later. What should have made the pre-show. This should be on the card. The champions need to be on the card. You need to showcase them. Bottom line. Fuck, Cesaro's not even booked. He's the United States champion, and as far as I know, I'm doing this as of Friday, but he's not even booked. It pisses me off. I can't imagine how much more other people are pissed off by it, and it doesn't make any logical sense, which is only going to piss people off even more. But they're basically feuding over like the movie deals on what they had, like The Miz with the Marine 3 that went straight to fucking DVD, so I wouldn't even call that a movie thing. I mean, Barrett... that movie, he wasn't even, like, prominent in. It'll probably go to DVD soon, but at least, I'm told it made money. I'm told it did decent at the box office, which for WWE films is fucking phenomenal. But anyway, my prediction, Barrett's gonna retain the title. That's my prediction, alright. I know this isn't an order, but it's an order of how the Wikipedia article had it, and that's how I'm going with it. They're probably gonna add a few matches since Friday. I'll annotate any predictions I think of that come out for matches then that they get booked, because it looks like they might do a women's title match. I'm not seeing it between Caitlyn and AJ. I'm not seeing that on Wikipedia. I'm just going through what I saw there as of this Friday, and I'm just going to go through that. And we're going to start, of course, with no doubt the main event, The Rock versus John Cena 2, only this time it's for the WWE Championship. Twice in a lifetime, I guess. Lightning strikes twice. I don't even know why they use that. I guess just to avoid the twice in a lifetime. Funny story, the first time they did this, back when my sleep schedule was complete and utter crap, I actually fell asleep during this match. And when I woke up, what I saw was John Cena going for... the people's elbow and rightfully getting rock bottom to shit and getting pinned 1, 2, 3. I think that's what happened near the end. I don't remember. I might have been half asleep. I might be remembering it differently, but I remember him doing the people's elbow, and I think The Rock just rock bottomed him and beat him. And if I was awake for that, I would have laughed my ass off. But since that time, The Rock, he left for a while. He did a couple of things, I think, during that time. Actually, no, I think he just left. And then he came back at Survivor Series, I believe was it Survivor Series? Or, I forget, no. I don't remember. I think it was like, it wasn't Survivor Series. It was some other type of match. But I know he came back with... Cena asked him to team up together to face the Awesome Truth of the Miz and R-Truth at the time. Great team they were. I actually do miss them a lot. I miss Heel Truth, honestly. I miss Heel Miz as well. I guess it just like heals more. What can I say? But I mean, faces sometimes work, sometimes they don't. For Miz and Truth, they don't work. I'm sorry. But he teamed up with Cena. He came back again around the Royal Rumble time to unseat the dastardly CM Punk after his big reign as the WWE champion, lasting, I believe, 434 days of being WWE champion. That's a year and change, man. That's like, again, more things change, the more things will stay the same as I go through this. But just keep that fresh in your mind as I go through this, as I ramble on. The Rock did all that. Cena, he had a tough year. It started with Lesnar, who got taken to the limit. I mean, he won that match, but Lesnar, like legitimately, like, started beating the shit out of him. I mean, I actually was one of the guys that was like, Cena deserved that. Cena rightfully so won that. I'm like, okay, I'm with that. I'll rarely say that about a John Cena match, but against that match with Lesnar, man. But since that time, he won with that. The divorce thing happened. He got in this big feud with John Laurinaitis. He actually lost clean to a then Lord Tensai on Raw. And speaking of Tensai, where did Sakamoto go? I remember saying at one time, I think I wanted him to team up with Ricardo Rodriguez, who's also been an indentured servant, and those two would team together and become a tag team, and at least maybe be tag team champions at some point. I don't know. There's always WWE 13, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. He lost clean to Tensai. He lost to Laurinaitis at a pay-per-view, thanks to the Big Show coming back. He got a little taste of victory by the way of beating the Big Show. He got his revenge. He managed to get rid of Laurinaitis. I think then, after that, he went on to shoot for the Money in the Bank briefcase. He won that, begrudgingly. But then he only to become the only one to actually fail at cashing that in. I mean, he cashed it in, but it didn't work out, and he lost his opportunity, which somehow allowed him to get a shot at Ziggler's, who won his fair and square for whatever reason. I forget how that came about. I don't even want to remember. But, he fails that as well. Despite all that, becomes Superstar of the Year at the Slammies for some reason, and even Cena, which even baffled Cena when he came out that night. Like, even he was like, really? Me? Alright. I think he gave it to The Rock or turned it around or something like that. I forget what he did. But by the time the Royal Rumble came around again, with the Royal Rumble, everything turned around. It changed. It was a game changer. He won that. He got into a feud with the Shield. For a while, I think he lost that match. It was him, Ryback, and I think Sheamus or something like that, and he lost that. Yeah. But somehow he still managed to keep his spot, and I think the following Raw he defended it against CM Punk, who had failed to beat The Rock on two separate occasions. He lost the title to The Rock, and then he failed again to get it back, and he faced him on Raw, and now here we are. Now, going through all that, I mean, I know I gave Cena a bunch of shit for essentially blaming The Rock for the divorce and all that went on, but it's the way they handled it. Like, they're making it like Cena is actually the underdog for once. Like, they know they did the whole shoot promo where he's like painting himself the underdog. He actually kind of is in this regard. Like, they're making it like he has to win this. Like, I think he literally says, I need to beat The Rock. I don't want to just beat The Rock, I want to dominate him. I remember him saying, I want to dominate The Rock. He's really going out like, I want to make The Rock my bitch this Sunday. Like, as much shit as I gave Cena initially, going back and recapping all that, it's actually well done to where Cena was really painted into a corner to actually beat this guy, to beat The Rock, the source of the beginning of all this, the source of his slump, he's the one who kickstarted it all, and he's got to beat him. He's endured all of this and such. He's made it all the way here. He's got to beat The Rock. He's got to take that title back. A lot of people were predicting that tonight's the night for Cena to win and go heel. I predict he's winning as well. I don't think they're going to do the heel thing. it's a really good setup for a turn if it happens. It feels like the whole Austin heel turn, I think WrestleMania 18 it was, where he went heel, where he had to beat The Rock. He did what it took to win. I don't think they'll do that with Cena. But what I'm saying is Cena's gonna win, and we're gonna be back again next year with this. They're gonna do this at Mania 30. It's gonna be a rubber match. They're gonna have to. as probably gonna piss a lot of you people off to hear, but it just, don't be surprised if it comes to Cena Rock 3 at Mania 30. Alright, the second match I had listed was the World Heavyweight Championship match. Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. Alberto Del Rio, as a face, it's been a very interesting change, unlike The Miz's. But unlike The Miz's, it's actually kind of poorly transitioned. It's just like the 3MB were picking on Ricardo, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna be face now, you know. And there was that one Christmas thing where he ran over Santa and was like being painted as heel. Like, they tried to make him heel, but he really came across like sympathetic. Like, I didn't mean to run this guy over. I'm sorry. It's just fucking Cena like bullying him or something like that. Like, they really painted Cena as like the bad guy in that, man. I mean, that's what I felt anyway. I don't know about some of you. I mean, he actually felt sorry, you know? He actually went to apologize, and Cena basically wanted to beat the shit out of him for that. It's, you know, just came off as weird for me. But anyway, it's, again, but yeah, he just suddenly decides, like, oh, I'm gonna be face now because they're picking on Ricardo. Like, the way I would have booked it would have been like a more gradual change, like, Del Rio would have gotten into, like, made, like, a bad deal or gotten in a bad way, like, financially. He loses his money, he loses his fame, the cars, all that, you know, he goes, like, it's just him at the end, and he's like, oh, man, I can't do it like this anymore, and he, like, considers, like, legit leaving the business, like, retiring and just having to work as I don't know, I guess having to do, like, a normal 9-to-5 job or whatever, like, but, you know, Ricardo's like, no, come on, we can... You know, I'm still here. I'm still hang out with you. I'm your friend. I'm still, you know. He's, you know, slow, gradual turn towards Ricardo. He's like looking at Ricardo less like a indentured servant, more like a friend, you know, a brother, you know. Because Ricardo, I mean, the fans really like Ricardo. I mean, I like Ricardo. Like, ever since that one Royal Rumble, like, Del Rio was injured, and I think he came out. Like, they really like embraced Ricardo. They really are like, yeah, Ricardo, whoa. They really like him. I really like him too. I felt like he was getting face reactions from the crowd everywhere he went, and WWE is like, oh, we gotta capitalize on this. You know, they actually did something smart for once and capitalized on it. They took advantage of that. You know, as much shit as I gave WWE for doing stupid shit, this is actually, you know, if they sought this out, and, you know, it's working, at least for me anyway. You know. And then there's Jack Swagger. He's a little tougher to predict. In the way that makes him dangerous and, like, actually coming across as a legitimate threat to Del Rio's reign as champion. He's been gone for a while, and when he came back, he got tough, got serious. He came back during an Elimination Chamber match. He won that, and he became the #1 contender for the title. I think that's how he got it, through the Elimination Chamber. It was like a #1 contenders match with a bunch of SmackDown superstars, and he won that. It's good he has a mouthpiece in Zeb Coulter, because the speech impediment thing, it makes him lose the toughness a little bit. I think that's why a lot of people are like, you know, we're saying on Twitter, like, Lesnar needs Heyman to do this talking for him. He really does. Like, he loses, like, Swagger needs Zeb Coulter. He needs a good mouthpiece to do his talking for him. Like Michael Cole back then for a while. He was good at it for a while. He's got Zeb Coulter now. Like, it's working for him. Yeah, it's best to have Zeb Coulter do all the talking, and Swagger just goes, "We the people." That's as stupid as that sounds. That's all it is. I love, and as stupid as the Del Rio and Ricardo like spoof or something like that. Like, they spoofed that or something like that. Like, I think for 2 weeks, I'm like, oh, I wish they could do that every week, to be honest with you. I laugh my ass off at that. I always love that. I always love when they do that. Like, where they imitate other wrestlers and dress up as other wrestlers and put that on. That's just a personal favorite of mine. Like, imitation's, like, the best thing ever. I've always wanted to do that for somebody. If I was doing either face or heel, I would do something like that all the time. Just to piss people off, maybe, or just to piss the heels off and get under the skin. Like if I was doing it, every week I'd be doing something like that. I don't know how that would work out, but anyway, this should be interesting. This match right here, I see this feud perhaps going on, perhaps culminating in maybe a submission only match, like the way these two have their finishers, like. Because Del Rio's all about the cross armbar, and then you got the ankle lock, or the Patriot Act, I think they called it. I don't know if they call it that anymore. I'm not sure. But I think this is gonna push for a few that can last a couple pay-per-views for a while. Pardon me. As far as Mania goes, Del Rio's retaining, but only just to keep the feud going. Or I mean, you could probably do it with Swagger too. I mean, this one's tough, but my prediction is Del Rio. Del Rio's going to retain. That's my prediction. Swagger's good. He just doesn't have it this night. Maybe the next pay-per-view they start making him like even more, and he'll get it. But I'm just saying for Mania for right now, based on what I've seen, I think Del Rio has this one. Just my opinion. Anyway, the next match, The Undertaker versus CM Punk. In a singles match. Okay. Now, since that earlier promo, Punk very quickly became, like, one of the most beloved to one of the most hated in the span of the 2 years of time that between that promo and present time. He went from demanding change to demanding respect. Now, when heel Punk started, I was on board fully. Like, I loved the whole thing where he just throws it back in the King's face, saying he turned his back. Like the King's, like Jerry Lawler said, CM Punk turned his back on the WWE universe, and Punk just throws it right back in his face and says, "The Rock is not the WWE universe." How fucking dare you make me like do title matches when Cena's the fucking main event and I'm not? How I turn my back? Please. Those are like valid and legitimate beefs. So he like really blurred the lines a bit and came off like not really like, I know with heels you got to come off as bitter, but with Punk you bought it. Like he didn't come off as bitter. They were valid arguments. Why is Cena the main event? I'm the WWE champion. Like the fuck is going on here? Like like he wasn't getting it, so he wasn't getting change, so he actually had to fucking take it. He had to grab it by the throat and take it for himself. And over the months, it became more like more like the Paul Heyman guy, drinking the Kool-Aid, as some people like to describe it. He had Heyman helped him to retain time and time again with the Shield at certain times with Brad Maddox, who Heyman knew about. Apparently Punk didn't. I don't know if there's gonna be a follow-up to that. I don't think WWE's that smart to think of something like that. I like to be proven wrong sometimes with that. He's acting like nuclear heelish all of a sudden now with ever since the heart attack that that Jerry Lawler suffered. More recently, Paul Bearer's untimely passing. He's starting to become like the shell of what his original intent for the turn was, and it's, I don't know, I hate to be like, if there's anything I can be critical of Punk, it's that, but I think it's maybe just more way WWE's booking him more than Punk's. So don't think I'm like throwing anybody under the bus or anything, except for maybe WWE, because they deserve it. But anyway, he's come a long way since those times. I think he deserves the spot to do battle with The Undertaker. I really like the idea of what he's trying to do. As much flack as I just gave it, I kind of like the idea that he's in The Undertaker's head, that someone's actually trying to beat The Undertaker at his own game psychologically. Like, they're making it. They've always done that with the Taker as of late. I always like Taker matches because they really go out of the way to make it like holy shit, this he may lose this one. You know, they're really like, I like this. Another feud I really like. You know, it didn't take as long, but you know, sometimes less is more. You know, in some case, well, in other matches you'll see where that's not the case. Like I said, they make it look like the Undertaker's gonna lose. I don't think he's going to. I think Taker's gonna keep his streak, 21-0. This is what my prediction is. All right, the next match, a 6-man tag of Sheamus, Randy Orton, and The Big Show versus the Shield of Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns. But that's my Reigns impression. Whatever. What the hell with Sheamus, man? Pardon me. Ooh, speech taking a lot out of me. I mean, God knows I love Sheamus simply for the fact that he's whiter than I am, but God, did WWE shove you down our throats this year. Which can happen when you become popular and also a world champion, which he was. I get that, but that whole thing at the very beginning, like, is he going to feud with the Shield? Is he feuding with Barrett? Is he doing this? Is he that? No, it's too much. Stop. Just pick a goddamn feud with him and go with it. Just, Like, that was, like, even I was getting a little sick of it at this point. Like, I like Sheamus. I've always liked Sheamus. I just, man, you're going out of your way to make me not like him all of a sudden, don't you? Goddamn. I want to like Sheamus. Like, stop doing stupid shit with this. And Orton, you know, Orton's just Orton. You know, he's doing Orton things. He's saying Orton stuff. You know, it's Orton, you know. And that's all I can really say for Orton. Big Show, I know he kind of did a lot of change. He went through a change too. Like he did the whole face thing for a while. Till he made fun of John Laurinaitis. He got fired over it. He came back as a monster heel again with his ironclad contract. It would led to him I think he actually beat Sheamus for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's what happened. That was a feud for a while. Him and Sheamus for a while. That was a good feud because again, it was just like two big bastards beating the shit out of each other in ways you didn't think they might be able to at first. Because I think they had a chair match and it got a little interesting for a while. You know, it's tough trying to do big guy versus big guy. Sometimes it's like really interesting. Sometimes not so much. I'll get into that later for some of you because there's one in here. But yeah, the Big Show from face to heel, becoming World Heavyweight Champion. He lost it to Del Rio on free television, which I don't get. I honestly thought he was injured or something like that, and they were trying to get the title off him so Show could like rest up or something like that. But no, nothing of that even came. That happened. He had like a pay-per-view match like 2 weeks from then or something like that, or however short a time it was. And I guess he's face now, or at least at the point where he's like, okay, you know, the whole enemy of my enemy is my friend type of mentality. Like, I guess he's face. I don't know. I don't think. Maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, there's also, on the other side, the Shield becoming a thorn mostly in Ryback's side, who actually was in this match earlier before he got taken out for another match and the Big Show took his place. This was at first Sheamus, Orton, and Ryback versus the Shield, which would have worked better because they dealt with Ryback a lot more than anybody else, mostly because he was trying to, back when Ryback was trying to unseat Punk for the WWE Championship, I guess they decided he'd face Mark Henry, which, in my opinion, works better. I personally was hoping they might try to close the book on the Ryback Shield feud with this one. I didn't think in this capacity, but maybe you know, things happen. Might be for the best, maybe not. We'll see. But anyway, the Shield have yet to taste defeat in the WWE. I'm predicting tonight will be no different. I'm predicting either the Big Show shows his true colors, knocks the shit out of Sheamus and Orton, or at least they win, or at least after the match or something like that. Like, Big Show just they lose legit, but then Big Show just like gets fed up with both of them and just weapon of mass destructions and both just knock both of them out. Or like some people have been saying / hoping, Orton finally a heel turn, which would be good for Orton because face Orton, yawn, heel Orton, less of a yawn. I don't think unless crazy WWE decides, hey, we'll go with option 3. Let's make Sheamus be heel again. It's maybe not. I don't know. But a lot of people have been saying WrestleMania's place to do like maybe a heel turn. You can change the game, change the changing of the guard, so to speak. It's a possibility. I'm saying. All right. Anyway, the match I was talking about that Ryback went to is against Mark Henry. I don't have much to say about this one because it's just two big guys just gonna be beating the hell out of each other. The way they should have booked this perhaps was maybe like if they had more time to book something like this, if they didn't like suddenly switch it, would have been like young lion versus old lion, like the youth of Ryback and the hunger and the edge that he's never been champion before, but you got someone experienced and for years and years of experience, like Mark Henry has been dominating, has been ever since he came back, he's just been beating everybody up. Like they made him out to be a monster again. He's always kind of been, but they're really ever since he came back, he's been doing a ton of damage. Ryback had no slouch either. He's had a bit of an off season because 3-on-1 with the Shield. But this is different. Maybe, like I said, you're trying to close the book on that, but maybe something good will come out of this. Maybe something different will come out of this. Like by putting him in a match with Mark Henry 1-on-1. This one's gonna be close, in my opinion, but I think it's gonna come down to experience on this one. I'm personally predicting Mark Henry to win this one, but barely. Like Ryback's gonna take him to the limit and back. Ryback's not gonna go quiet or gentle on this one, but I think Henry's gonna win this one, but by a very, very small margin. Like this one's, oof. It's gonna be one of those matches. I'm sure it might not be the most glamorous looking or the best looking match of the night, but shit's gonna go down. The match I wish was on the pre-show, that should be on the pre-show, is even though I really, really like the Rhodes Scholars, it's not for any title or any sort. Plus, it's got divas in it, which immediately is like... and speaking of divas, I don't know if there's a divas match. They might do one, like I said, they might do one for WrestleMania for Friday. It's 4 o'clock now. It's 4 hours before SmackDown. They might book it. They might not. I don't know. That shouldn't be in a pre-show either because the titles need to not be in a pre-show, like I said. But yeah, it's Brodus Clay and Tensai, collectively known as the Tons of Funk. And the Funkadactyls versus the Rhodes Scholars and the Bellas. Rhodes Scholars and Bellas are going to win this one because they cheat. Yeah, and that's all I got to say about the match, to be honest. Like I said, this should have been the pre-show. Anyway, I'm just going to move right on to the singles match between Jericho and Fun Don. Go. This and the next match I'm going to talk about is an interesting way of putting over new talent. Like, WWE, they didn't used to do this for like Mania or something like that. I would think this would be like a thing like after Mania, but my personal opinion, Jericho I think deserves better, but he's going to do his best to put over Fandango tonight. Fandango's going to come out winning this one. This is a big gamble with WWE, what they're doing with new superstars. There's always a gamble involved with that. Especially in Mania. It becomes like astronomically big gamble. You got two superstars making their debut tonight. Fandango and Big E Langston making their wrestling debuts. They used to have debuts for guys like these usually after Mania is done. Like, I think I want to say Cena might have had a debut like after Mania or something like that, like a couple weeks afterwards. Like, I know it was like during like a couple weeks after the brand extension, I think is what went down. I want to say, I'm pretty sure Brock Lesnar debuted shortly after a Mania, if I remember correctly, with Heyman and just beating the hell out of the Hardy Boys with like no warning whatsoever. I want to say that was like a Backlash match between them back when Backlash was a thing, which I missed, by the way. I wish they'd bring that back. Even a friend of mine, who passingly, kinda, sorta, not really knows wrestling, was even like he was like, they're gonna wait to make a debut at Mania. I'm like, that's a bit much. It's like, I mean, Jericho's gonna make Fandango look like $1 million in this ring, but even he can only do so much. I mean, it's nice to finally see Johnny Curtis, you know, an NXT winner. They're actually doing something with the guy. But again, like I said, it's a big gamble they're doing with. I just hope it pays off for them. Like I said, because it's not just gonna hurt us. It's just gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt this Johnny Curtis guy, this Fandango. You know, I mean, like I said, I love his entrance. I want to see him do really well in this match just to prove these people wrong who've been doing the "you can't wrestle" chant. Well, you haven't seen him wrestle yet. You only know from NXT, and it's been like years since we've seen him on that. He might, like, Jericho's going to make him look like I said, he's going to make him come out sparkling, like, as only Jericho can take somebody like that. But I think Fandango may surprise somebody. I feel more like Fandango could go ahead than maybe Biggie Langston. I'm not too sure, but anyway, like I said, Fandango's going to win this one. As far as the next match with Biggie Langston, he's teaming up with Dolph Ziggler to try and get the Tag Team Championships, unseating Team Hell No, consisting of Kane and Daniel Bryan. Team Hell No, not big on the name, but I've always liked this team. I really, the chemistry with these two, they're always really funny. The Hug It Out segment was probably one of the funniest things I've ever seen on television. Not just on Raw, but on television. I was just, wow, that was great. I just laughed my ass off at that one. That's almost up there with the "This Is Your Life" with The Rock thing. That was pretty good. I like that. Now they've been champs for a while now. And I honestly think they're going to stay champs tonight. I mean, Dolph and Big E are dangerous. But I don't think tonight's their night, to be honest with you. Dolph's only just now, in recent weeks, starting to get wins. Trying to build him up as a serious threat when for like months he's been losing at match after match after match ever since he actually beat John Cena to keep his briefcase. I just don't buy them as serious threats as far as legitimately taking titles away. I say legitimately because, having said that, I've been on this on Twitter for months. For months I've been saying this on Twitter. I'm telling you now with certainty, Dolph Ziggler is cashing in at Mania. He's going to do what Daniel Bryan said he was going to do last year. Dolph Ziggler cashes in at Mania. He's still got the briefcase. He is cashing in. He's gonna walk out champion tonight at Mania. I'm actually predicting they're gonna keep Cena face and have him beat The Rock. Ziggler comes in and cashes in on him and takes that title instead of the world title, because it looks like they might do more with him and Cena again. It looks like they could reignite that feud again. Keep Ziggler strong, have AJ and Big E run interference, keep the title on him for a while letting Cena get his win over The Rock, and again push for that third and final confrontation at Mania 30. That's my prediction. You know, it's a long shot, but you know, I'm like I said, I'm saying if nothing else, Dolph Ziggler's cashing in at Mania. I say that with absolute certainty. Bonus points if they do what they did last year with AJ and Daniel Bryan. They actually don't debut Big E at all. They actually wait on him. Dolph Ziggler comes out, you know, kisses AJ, and I think Daniel Bryan finally gets his revenge, gets a 1-2-3 pin real quick, and they walk out there and they retain in that capacity. I'm sort of counting on it to that at least being like teased in some way, like they would do something like that because it's been a year, because they're involved in that sort of thing. I don't be surprised if they do at least tease something like that in some way. But either way, Hell No's going to retain that in that match. And the final match I had listed was the no holds barred match between Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman in his corner versus Triple H with HBK in his corner. Now, the last time these two fought, to pair it up against Lesnar's fight with Cena really wasn't all that good. But if anything, this looks like it's going to build up to something that's, because it's Mania and because it's the whole revenge angle and all that stuff, they're actually building it like it's going to be a big thing. Now, I'm not too sure I understand the whole retirement angle when Triple H already is retired in at least in wrestling capacity. Heyman tried to do damage control, I think, last Monday. He was like saying, like you won't be able to, like, you'll have to be like you're jealous and you're gonna have to like stay behind and watch these superstars pass you by because you can't do what you love anymore. Like with Heyman, like he tried to salvage it, he tried to save it, and God bless Heyman. What like I was thinking, I thought this was. Like, what I would have done was have Heyman try and actively go for Triple H's seat. Like, actually go for what he has. The one job he still has, and that's his power as COO. Which I don't know if that's still a thing or not, but I know he's at least the heir to the throne. Is how I would have booked it. Someone who I'm someone who takes notice of stuff like this, is how I would have booked this. It would have been a much sweeter prize to Heyman than just having Triple H retire. Triple H is already retired. He's in this for revenge because of what happened to him and what happened to what he did to his father, what he did to the Outlaws. What I would have, like I said, I would have done it how he would have come out here defending the only job he has left. Like, this is what he's worked for, and if Heyman wins, it's like everything's gone now. Like, this is for everything. Like, winner take all. Like, if he loses, Heyman gets the keys to Camelot, basically, and he becomes the CEO. He becomes the heir to the throne to Triple H. I know they can't really do that, but here's the thing. If you book it, if you just book it like that, if you book it like that's what's going to happen, this match might actually mean more, because Triple H still has something to fight for. Triple H still has something to lose. Not just, like, he's already retired. Having said all that, I'm going to close off and say, like, this is actually going to be where the game gets his revenge. Like, he's going fucking over. This night belongs to the game. I predict Heyman's going to get involved. HBK's going to get involved. Maybe even Stephanie McMahon gets her hands on Heyman again, and there's like a tense thing with her and Lesnar or something like that, and Triple H comes out or something like that in some way. I don't know, but anyway, that's my predictions. And my God, I've rambled almost 43 minutes now. I might have would have just cut the down, and even that probably would have taken like over a half hour. But yeah, that's wow. I'm not used to talking this long. I was really winded and my throat's all messed up. I gotta go get a drink or something after all that. But yeah, that's a WrestleMania for you. My predictions, and I'll see you on Twitter tonight on SmackDown, and especially this Sunday at WrestleMania.